Thank you. Thank you. Now.
When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well, it is well with my soul.
It is well.
It is well
with my soul.
with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. Though Satan should buffet, though trials should come, let this blessed assurance control, that Christ has regarded my helpless estate, and hath shed his own blood for my soul.
It is well.
It is well
with my soul.
with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. My sin, oh, the bliss of this glorious thought. My sin, not in part, but the whole, is nailed to the cross, and I bear well, it is well with my soul. And Lord, haste the day when my faith shall be sight. The clouds be rolled back as a scroll. The trump shall resound, and the Lord shall descend. Even so, it is well with my soul.
It is well.
It is well
with my soul.
with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul.
Thank everybody for being here today. It's going to be a tough one, so just bear with us. Probably going to need some tissues up here. Thank you. Today serves as a reminder of the preciousness of life and the love that comes with it. With that love, no one expects nor prepares for the wounds left in its absence when faced with the grief and despair of those who we hold closest. As firefighters, we train for the unexpected. We practice for the worst case scenario. Yet no matter what, there is no preparation for grief, no way to simulate such a loss. The more connected we are, the deeper it cuts, and we find ourselves frantically trying to figure out how to lessen the pain we now carry. A burden we never asked for, but carry nonetheless. We always preach about the family and the fellowship with the fire service and its importance in difficult times. Yet nothing prepared me for losing one of our own so near and dear to my heart. Lisa was one of my closest friends, part of my most innermost circle. Our family is an extension of my family. If you haven't figured it out yet, Lisa has an identical twin sister, Becca, and it has always been a privilege to see them interact and find the many similarities and subtle differences. So, do not be alarmed when you see her walking about today. Be sure to give her a hug, hear her laugh, for those that never had the privilege of hearing Lisa's. Very few could know how unique of a pain it is to lose someone you were connected with since birth. So much of Lisa gets to live on through you, so I hope you can cherish that for yourself, Becca. And know that you have others to connect with that also share so many memories of Lisa. I first met Lisa while serving part-time on the CARES team within the fire department. Never would have thought those would become some of my most cherished memories. For those that don't know, the CARES team was established as a way to serve the underserved, to provide aid and assistance to the citizens in the community that we serve on a more personal level. It quickly became a pivotal part of providing aid to those who needed it most. From the elderly needing assistance to those struggling with substance abuse and mental health needs. Lisa served as a voice for the unheard and a beacon of light and hope for those who needed it most. She truly served the community with compassion, honor, and integrity. Prior to her time at CARES, Lisa served as a firefighter within the 2nd Battalion, bringing with her the experience she gained as a Fulton County firefighter, where she was recognized for her abilities on the job, earning a respected reputation. During her time here at Station 5, Lisa suffered a traumatic brain injury on the job, leading to a difficult and long road over the years since. For those unaware, TBIs affect a variety of areas with their life, physically, mentally, and emotionally. No two cases are identical, and the challenges involved with the road to recovery can seem insurmountable for those suffering through it themselves. It hurt me deeply to watch some of the daily struggles Lisa had to endure, from the swings in appetite to the sensitivity to certain lights and sounds, the difficulties maintaining focus, and the extreme pain she endured. Expressing how she felt in words was often a challenge, and all I wanted to do was help. Watching one of your closest friends struggle with something you can do little to help change feels very helpless. But I know each moment we could spend helping others or making one another laugh was a moment of reprieve for her, and it warmed my soul to see it. Kirsten reaffirmed that joy for me when she told me that she could always tell the days that me and Lisa had rode together before she even said it. How she looked a little bit brighter and joyous walking in the door. Although her physical being will never be crossing that threshold again, her presence is still felt. I remember telling Lisa after the very first time how comfortable their home felt, filled with positive energy. Their home has always remained a warm and inviting atmosphere, safe and free of judgment. The words, "Our home is your home," still echo in my ears, thinking back to the first time Lisa told me that. Lisa knew how to talk to people in a way few do, not in trivial conversation, but their inner soul. She wanted to hear what troubled you the most, what struggles you were battling with. You always felt heard and truly understood. And I'm sure for her, it lessened the pain she carried daily to know she was not alone in her suffering. She saw the world for what it was. From its nature and beauty to the scars people carried with them every day. She'd often stop to admire the fallen acorn, kneeling down to pick it up and holding on to it for later where it would join the many other acorns she had collected along the way. When I look back on it, I wonder if at those times she felt like the fallen acorn, separated from the community it was once part of, yet knowing that others like herself could still be lifted up and appreciated just as they are. Still having hope to be reunited with others and sprout forth in renewed joy for life once again. On September 25th, I never expected to walk up on her front steps knowing I would never hear Lisa's laugh again or watch her proudly show me her newest plant she had grown herself. Forced to process the unimaginable, no words can be said to comfort the pain that had just occurred. For me, guilt is perhaps the most painful companion of death besides regret. Never take a moment for granted in this life. There is no time like the present. When you feel drawn to reach out to someone close to you, act on it. We have all become too comfortable waiting until tomorrow to say or do something for those we claim to hold closest. Lisa and Kirsten strive to live in that present moment, all the way back to their beginnings. I had the privilege of reading some of the messages sent with flowers from Kirsten and Lisa throughout their relationship. Truly loving words attributing Lisa's best qualities to those of the specific flowers she chose. A spectrum of love. And I hope that any time that love is ever doubted, you can reread them and your soul will be filled with warmth, even if only for a moment. Today serves as an example of the support we are capable of when we come together. And as much as it is needed now, it leaves a lot unsaid for what things could have been if we had showed up when it mattered most. Be there for your people. They may not be able to put into words how much they need you in difficult times, and it takes immense strength to allow yourself to feel and be vulnerable. It allows us to connect deeply with one another. Take every opportunity you can to spend quality moments with those you love, especially in times of suffering. Sometimes all that is needed is just to hold space and to provide peace amidst that chaos. If I thought for a moment I could have taken the burdens Lisa carried from her, even for just a day, to allow her to feel relief and peace, I would have done so with zero hesitation, if only it were that simple. However, we can shower them with unwavering love and support along their journey in hopes that relief will come, healing can occur, and peace can be had. What I do know is that Lisa no longer has to suffer or endure such pain and adversity again. Her soul is free to live happily now, freed from the sufferings of the body and the mind, and although that void can never be filled, those of us who cherished her most can draw closer knowing we had the privilege of seeing her for who she truly was. Her selfless service is unmatched both to those she loved and the public she served. Lisa's legacy lives on through those of us who choose now to carry her torch, serving as a beacon for those in need, a sacred refuge for all. Now, Chaplain Monique Broussard is going to come up and speak.
Today, we have gathered to say goodbye and to celebrate the life of Lisa. As I stand here trying to hold it together, I can't help but cherish the time I spent with Lisa and the impact she left on all of us. It's truly difficult to find the words for a moment like this. But I do believe that by reflecting on the love and kindness of Lisa and that she shared with all of us, we can find comfort and peace. Her spirit remains with us even now. I first met Lisa at fire headquarters when she joined Cop Cares. It didn't take long to see that she was more than just a firefighter. She was a light. Lisa had this incredible way of bringing people together and turning even the hardest days into something bearable with her warmth. And that laugh. I still remember how shocked she was when she found out I was still fighting fires and pregnant. Whenever we rode around in the Cares car, we made sure to have a good time. I even asked her to join me as an advisor for the Explorers to help the kids on Thursday nights, and she came out as much as she could. She really enjoyed it, and the Explorers loved her, especially her expertise and kindness. It's hard to imagine life without her physical presence, and I know it will be even harder every time I see her smile, Becca. But I do believe that the love she shared and the spirit she embodied continues to surround us. Lisa is watching over us, encouraging us to keep moving forward with the same strength and grace that she lived by. There's a beautiful scripture that says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." In this time of grief, I believe we are not alone. God is with us, and Lisa's spirit is still here, comforting us, and her love remains present in the life she touched. Isaiah also says, "Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles." I can see Lisa now, free from the struggles of this world, soaring, watching over us, full of peace and love. May we always remember the joy and love Lisa shared with us. At this time, minister and friend of family, Kenny Williams, will come up.
Good morning. I'm Kenny Williams. I'm a pastor at East West Church in Marietta, the Cook family's home church for the last 40-plus years. I became acquainted with them years ago, have been involved with the entire family at one point or another, and to stand here today is a great honor, but it's also one of the parts of my job I don't enjoy. We've all faced this thing called death too often in our life, and it seems like lately more than not. As sure as we're born, though, we're going to pass. Everyone is going to transition, and the way and the memory of our transition a lot of times is based on how we lived. I wanted to read a passage out of 2 Samuel chapter 14, verse 14, that got my attention in a similar situation one day, and it gave great hope and great comfort and great strength for those that are left behind. It says, "All of us must die eventually. Our lives are like water spilled out on the ground, which cannot be gathered up again. But God does not just sweep life away. Instead, He devises ways to bring us back when we have been separated from Him. This is done because of His great love for us. God had a plan of redemption long before we were ever here, and before the resurrection of Christ. He was planning ways to redeem us because that is His intention, not to judge us. This is done because of His love, and He gives us an example and a teaching on what true love really is. We often have our own ideas, and we hear people teach it different ways, but what the Bible said, I think, is exactly where we should take it and what we should learn. It said, "Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful. Love is not proud or rude. It does not demand on its own way. It is not irritable. It keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever truth wins out. Love never gives up. Love never loses faith. it's always hopeful, and it endures through every circumstance. Prophecy, speaking in unknown languages, and special gifts sometimes will pass away, but love lasts forever. Lisa was a life that exemplified that type of love, selfless love, that she gave herself. Her life was for the purpose of the betterment of humanity. Jesus had something to say about that when he said, you'll never lose your reward if you so much as give a cup of cold water to one of these little ones. He was promising that when we take our life and spend it for the well-being of others, there would be blessing and there would be eternal reward. When I look at Lisa, and as I drove up today and saw all the fire engines, I was not confident that I could stand here, because it's overwhelming to know that we're taking one so young and saying bye. But in my faith, it is that we're only saying bye for a short period, because to be absent from this body is to be present with the Lord. Jesus said, as much as you've done it to the least of these. He also says, how can we say we love God who we have not seen if we don't love our fellow man, if we don't love our brothers and sisters? Lisa did just that. Lisa was a life that exemplifies Christianity more than a lot of Christians, more than a lot of ministers, more than a lot of workers, mission workers, because every day she faced stuff that many of us couldn't face. And it did take a toll on her from the time of her accident. I counseled with her a time or two or three after that, because she was in such a severe depression. And I never saw her the same after. It did have a great effect on her. But Lisa continued to do what she did, and she did it with fervor, and she did it with passion. Today, in closing, I wanted to pray, but in praying, I felt to read a passage out of Psalms. And this will be my prayer, but it's not a prayer just for us, but for all of the workers that are on the front lines, for all of the first responders, in particular the firefighters, that do so much that is selfless and sacrifices everything that they have. Psalms 91 is known as a soldier's psalm, or a policeman's psalm, or a responder, emergency worker's psalm. It says, he who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver you from the snare of the fowler and from the perilous pestilence. He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings shall you take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flies by day, nor for the pestilence that walks at darkness, nor for the destruction that lays waste at noonday. 1,000 may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it won't come near you. Only with your eyes do you behold and see the reward of the wicked, because you've made the Lord, who is your refuge, even the Most High, your dwelling place. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over you, to keep you in all your ways. In their hands they shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. You shall tread upon the lion and the cobra, the young lion and the serpent shall you trample underfoot. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he has known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him, and I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. And everyone could say, amen. We trust that Lisa now is in the counsel of the Lord, and she does see and is with us in many ways, in memory and thought, and in her precious sister that is so much like her. God bless you.
am Bill Johnson. I have the honor of serving as the fire chief for Cobb Fire. And first off, on behalf of Cobb Fire and the rest of the Cobb County Public Safety family, I would like to send our condolences to the friends and family of Lisa. You know, this service is only a small token of our appreciation to Lisa and for the impact she had on our department and community. Lisa's death has been very difficult for all of us. Continue to support each other and do not hesitate to reach out to a peer support team member should you need assistance or someone to talk to. You know, before I speak about the impact Lisa had on our department and the community, I would like to thank our command staff and other members of the organization who helped organize this memorial for Lisa, but I especially want to thank Jesse Michael, Sue Addyman, and Liz Wiggs for the support they have provided the family and for stepping up to be the liaisons for the department to the family. Thank you to the assistance we have received from Marietta and Smyrna Fire today and any other public safety agencies that were here to honor Lisa. Whether you're in the procession, blocking an intersection, or just being here to support us and the family, we are very thankful for you. And I'd like to send a special thank you to the Cobb County Police Department and the Cobb County Sheriff's Office for their assistance in making sure that Lisa was appropriately honored as we escorted her body several times during this time. You know, as I was thinking about what I was going to speak about today, you know, felt led to speak about the impact Lisa had on not just our department, but the community. You know, I distinctly remember the day we interviewed Lisa, Chief Kreider and I, and after the interview when we offered a job, we both said, hey, she is absolutely going to be a positive impact or have a positive impact on our organization. You know, when people think about the job of a firefighter, and you heard Jesse speak about it too, you know, they think of running into burning buildings, cutting up mangled cars, or delivering babies, right? And all those things are accurate. And I would say responding on calls is arguably the most important function of the fire department. But in a large department like ours, there are also behind-the-scene heroes, if you will, that do many things to make our department better and our community safe. You heard before Lisa came to Cobb, she worked for another Metro Atlanta Fire Department where she ran into burning buildings and cut up cars and ran EMS calls and did a great job. And she did those things even after coming to Cobb for a few years until, as you heard, unfortunately, she had an on-the-job injury that prevented her from working in the fire station. But that didn't slow Lisa down. She decided to take her talents to a different area of the fire department in our CARES division and serve those who oftentimes can't appropriately be served by calling 911. You heard Jesse speak about that and Lisa's time on CARES and how impactful that unit is to a portion of the population. She was a very dedicated member of our CARES team, and she helped many people get the resources they needed to live a quality life. After working on the CARES team, for a while she decided to try her hand in another division of the fire department. She wanted to go to the fire marshal's office. She competed for the position and was chosen. And she spent the remainder of her career as an inspector. And what's interesting, as a member of the fire marshal's office, Lisa had even a much broader footprint to impact the community. Every time she did an inspection on a business, she was making sure that that place of business is safe for every single person who visits that establishment. She was also making sure that these same buildings are safe for our responders when they run emergency calls to them. According to Lisa's supervisor, excuse me, she was an extraordinary employee. She was a great inspector. Kirsten, I want you to know that although Lisa's career in life were way too short, please know that she absolutely had an impact on all of us. Thank you. At this time, Marcy Henley will speak next.
going to try to get through this. Life. Lift, inspire, focus, and empower. That is how I met Lisa, and that is the life that she lived. Lifting and inspiring others, her focus on others, and empowering those around her. My name is Marcy Hanley. I'm the Vice President of Project Overwatch, a nonprofit comprised of military veterans who advocate for first responders. I met Lisa when she participated in a mental health and wellness retreat hosted by our organization. I immediately connected with her and instantly loved her and everything about her. It seemed we had known one another forever, and I was elated that she chose me to be one of her friends. While at the retreat, we connected and talked about her life. She spoke about her wife, her son, her career, her animals, and all the things that made her happy. She always had a smile on her face, was excited to get the day going, and more than anything, she was excited to cheer everyone on. Being friends with Lisa was one of the greatest gifts in life that God has gifted me. I knew that she was the kind of friend who would always be by my side through the good and through the bad. She was a solid person that always asked how everyone was doing despite her own struggles. We took some amazing hikes at Kennesaw Mountain National Park where we would engage in great conversations. We spent time with other friends, and she even entertained me by going to the Waffle House and ordering the waffle, which she'd never had before. Although she was not a huge fan of Waffle House, she continued to go with me because I live in Utah and we don't have it there. Lisa and I also had the opportunity to crash Station 22's breakfast because miraculously we were not invited. Sue and Liz sent us a photo from them making breakfast, and so we decided that we were going to crash the party, and since I was only half a mile from there, we just showed up. So thank you to the crew at Station 22 that let us crash that party. Lisa never turned down an opportunity to have fun with her friends, and for those who knew her, her laughter was infectious. Lisa provided me with so much laughter and so many stories that will resonate for the rest of our retreats. The next story will live on in history, and today you will hear 3 different versions from various speakers. This is my version. While at the retreat, we got involved in a kickball tournament, and Lisa was on my team. We were the green team, dream team. Thank you, ladies. Both of us are pretty competitive alongside of other people on our team. There's some controversy with one particular game where we played against the red team. Some members of this team are sitting in the audience, and I'm sure they have their own perspective about the game. However, we're sticking to Lisa's story. While playing the game, we were told you aren't allowed to bunt, and my stance is that Lisa had an injury to her ankle, and because of that, she wasn't able to kick the ball too far, but she did run through the pain to get to first base. According to our competition, they still feel that she violated the rules, but as her coach, I advocated for her sprained ankle and say she did an exceptional job of leading our team. As we go to tie the game against the red team, which Liz happened to be on, we suddenly heard that the game was over, yet we still had 1 out remaining. The red team would not let us continue, and therefore there was no clear winner for this particular game. The competitors to this day call us cheaters. I feel that they stopped the game because they were intimidated by our mad kickball skills and feared we would in fact win the game. Our green team, dream team contends that we will always be winners, and this story will be told for many more retreats to come. I had the opportunity to go to Bryce Canyon this past weekend. This is located in southern Utah, about 3.5 hours from where I live. On the first day, I told everyone that we would wake up early so we could go and watch a sunrise come up over the Hoodoos. It's a rock formation. During the sunrise, I looked over the canyons and I felt God's grace shining down. I thought to myself, how beautiful is it that Lisa gets to be in such a glorious place. In addition to the sunrise, I also had an opportunity to sit and stargaze in this dark sky national park. Liz happened to be with me on this trip, and while having a conversation with her, I made a comment about Lisa and just how much I missed her. As soon as I finished saying that, we both looked up and we saw a shooting star. And at that point, we knew that Lisa was with us and watching over us. I feel her presence more than I can explain. I felt that since the day we lost her, and she seems to send me subtle signs that she's around me, which brings me so much joy and peace. She is at peace. She is made new. She is made whole again. I cannot begin to describe the impact that she has made in my life in just a short time. I listen to Christian radio, and it seems every time I lose someone close to me, a song comes on that is reflective of that person. In this particular instance, it was a song by Phil Wickham saying, "The battle belongs to you." In addition to that song, I woke up one morning thinking about Lisa, and another song came to me. It's called My Defense, and it says, "You fight for me. You always have." I feel these are reflective of what Lisa would want her friends and family to do. As you know, Lisa struggled with her mental health, but the one thing she always did, ever since I've known her, is she has advocated for herself. From the time I met her, she took her mental health seriously, and she wanted to be in a positive space in life. After the retreat, we did just that. We advocated together alongside other women first responders to make sure she was taken care of and ensure she was healthy. I've been thinking about what Lisa would want me to say, and I know we've had many discussions along the way that have led me to say this on her behalf. As a United States Army veteran, former Cobb County police officer, and advocate for Lisa, we as first responders owe it to ourselves to take care of our mental health, to advocate for ourselves, but also advocate for those around us, those who would never ask for help and those who do. Many of you sitting here today respond for calls where our community members are in crisis and assist in fixing the problem immediately. We need the same response for all of you. All of you who respond to these calls, you deserve nothing less. As a community member, we owe it to our first responders to make sure you're taken care of. This means that those in leadership must make policy and procedural changes, remove any barriers in place that slow the process for helping each of you, make sure we do not accept no as an answer when a first responder needs resources, and make sure that we never ignore signs of mental health struggles. There is no excuse for not helping those who give 100% back to our communities. When someone asks for help, we need to break down every door to those who have the ability to help. There is never a time to say we didn't try everything possible to advocate for our men and women. We have to change the way we respond to our first responders who need and ask for help. It is our responsibility to stand up for those who no longer can speak. I vow to you today, as a Vice President of Project Overwatch and a community member, to always advocate for our first responders, to advocate for change, and to always honor my dear friend Lisa. Project Overwatch will be creating a yearly scholarship gifted to a first responder to attend our life retreat so that the selected attendee can be given resources and support for their mental health. This legacy scholarship will live in my heart forever, and on her behalf, I promise to always support her family, and that includes her first responder family. I love you, Lisa. Thank you. At this time, Captain Sue Addyman.
I really got to know Lisa during the infamous red versus green kickball game of 2024. Although I was not the umpire of that game, I was the umpire for the less contentious yellow versus green matchup. Before the game, Lisa asked me if bunting was allowed, and I said no. She then asked how I would rule on bunts, and I stated, if required, I would decide the difference between a bunt and a super shit kick and would announce my decision loudly to both teams. It became obvious that her desire not to be considered a super shitty kicker overrode her need to bunt, and I respected her for that. However, that was not the end of the story. Lisa, Marcy, and Liz, and any other team members they could embroil in the discussion continued to argue over allegations of cheating and whether a certain catch really was a catch. Finally, months later, Lisa texted me the game footage so I could, in my umpire's capacity, make a final and very post-game ruling. After viewing the game tapes in slow motion and freeze frame, Lisa was vindicated. Sorry, Liz, it was not a catch. Lisa's ultra-competitive nature and passion for physical sports is further exampled in her love of rugby. I believe some of her teammates are here with us today. Go Harlequins. From there, Lisa decided to take up the genteel sport of pickleball, at which point I started getting a stream of evidential photos of the bodily carnage that was wrought during her pickleball matches. Lisa did also appreciate a good veg out, and in honor of Harry Potter's birthday, we managed to get through 6 of the 8 Harry Potter movies in one sitting. Lisa was a proud Gryffindor and embodied the house traits of courage, competitiveness, loyalty to friends, as well as a good dose of stubbornness. Still, she was happy to accept a Ravenclaw into our midst, even if they are a bit of a muggle. I've been told the sight of her roaming the centers of excellence in fuzzy monster feet slippers, Christmas socks, and a Wonder Woman onesie created quite a following amongst her peers. I think, above all, the thing that I love the best and will miss the most is Lisa's laugh. It was the most unabashedly infectious and honest expression of joy. I think if we all sit quietly and listen with our hearts, we can still hear it. I know it would appeal to Lisa's love of mischief and make her laugh when I tell Marcy that Liz and I were responsible for the sheep. Did you hear her? I do believe I just did. And next, I believe we have Miss Sutton.
Hello, my name is Dr. Lakita Sutton, but also to everybody in the rugby community, I'm just Keita. I stand here today as an honor and a blessing to be able to reflect on my teammate and my friend Lisa. I just want to speak from the heart, so if you guys will bear with me. This isn't an easy space, but at the same time, this is a space of grace. And so I want to take that and make the most of that. And so I just want to speak about the first time that I saw Lisa was actually on the rugby field, on the rugby pitch, obviously. And I'm usually not that easily impressed when it comes to rugby moves. But I was very impressed that day by her just like juking someone and then running, and I was just like playing, but then in the midst of playing, I just kind of stopped and like, who's that person? And come to find out it was Lisa. That was the moment that I was impressed with Lisa. And now I'm inspired. I'm inspired because there's so many people in this room that represents the impact, but I'm also inspired because of her heart. Anybody who knows me in the rugby world know that I'm not the best with like the little big things, probably like doing laundry and things like that. But I got a chance to help a couple weeks ago when I came to the home, and in the first week of doing laundry, as far as folding, thankfully Allison there was there to help me. I got a chance to see a book that Lisa had in her bag. And I'm a book person, so immediately when I was folding the clothes and tidying up and putting them in the basket, it resonated with me. And the book is Daring Greatly. I don't know if anybody knows of that book, Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. That book talks about being courageous, and it talks about going above and beyond shame and being the best version of yourself as yourself with whatever that is for that moment and not being apologetic about it. And I thought it was fitting to have found such a book and a gift because I felt like it spoke to me. And my goal is not to break down because I want to go ahead and keep going. But at the same time, I wanted to read a passage that is in this book. And this is something that I think is very important to remember about Lisa and about anybody, especially the people like myself and my former teammate and friend Lisa, who was part of the helping profession, the caretakers. And it says, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly." I think that says a lot about what we've heard so far. She was a fighter, and not just a fighter, but a brave fighter. I've heard people say that she was the voice for the voiceless. She helped those in the community that oftentimes people overlooked. She would reach out and help people in the community that people didn't pay attention to. Ironically, from what I'm also hearing, she might at times was overlooked. But at the same time, there was hope because there were some people that saw her. And that blesses me to know that she was seen. She was heard. And her legacy clearly will continue to live through everybody that's in here and beyond. One more thing I just want to share that stood out to me. This past week I was going through my book, one of my books, and I found this bookmark. I know everybody can't see it, but it says, "Every hero has a story." And it has this little octopus that's a fireman, and then this little creature here that's a policeman representing the first responders. And I believe that Lisa was a hero, is a hero, and will continue to be a hero. And then secondly, without a doubt, she will have a story. And that story will be continued to be told through the lives that she's impacted, that's in this room and beyond, because her story is big. And lastly, she inspires me to advocate because she's that hero. She inspires me as a co-responder in the community to be brave enough to say, "Help me." She inspires me to see that boldness and bravery is not weakness, it's not without struggle, but it actually is about victory more than winning and losing. She embodied, she will embody through each and every one of you and beyond. And lastly, the hero, Mariah Carey. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I'm not going to sing this probably. But if you're waiting for that, I thought about it. And anybody that knows me knows that I have also practiced and entertained it. But I'm feeling inspired, if you guys don't mind, to sing with me. I'm going to tell you the verbiage, and then hopefully you can be like, okay. The words, "And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. All right, so either I'm gonna do this by myself, or you're gonna do it with me really quick. All right, count of 3. I'm believing that you guys are gonna help me. 1, 2, 3. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on. And you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and be strong, and you finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. I hope that everyone here believes that, because I believe that Lisa was a hero. And I'm just so grateful for her family, her legacy, and the love. KB, Kirsten, you're not by yourself. To her sister, you're never alone. To your family, parents, nieces, nephews, community, you all, never alone. Blessings and love to everybody, and be someone's hero. Honor Lisa's legacy, and from my stance as a clinician, as a co-responder, I plan to advocate, not just in words, but also in deed. I love you all. Thank you. Now Allison is coming.
Hello, I'm Allison. I'm sure everybody feels the same way I do, in that I wish I wasn't here today to do this. I keep hoping, a small part of me keeps hoping that maybe this is an elaborate prank, and Lisa wanted to see who was here and what we'd say. My story with Lisa starts with Kirsten. Kirsten and I met playing for the Georgia Tech women's rugby team, and moved on from school to the local club team, the Atlanta Harlequins. One of our teammates brought her friend to come try rugby, and so here was Leisha's friend, Lisa. Of course, as you guys have heard already, Lisa picked it up really quickly and became an exceptional player, and I think she's done it with every sport she's played. She was always active and doing something. She actually convinced me to get up and work out with her quite a lot. All of a sudden, she had me doing 5 a.m. workouts almost daily, and she's the only reason I was ever somewhat fit. We got to spend a lot of time together with rugby, working out, and letting me third wheel her and Kirsten in our apartment. I was able to talk to Lisa about basically anything. She allowed me to be completely vulnerable with her. And I'd like to think that she could be with me too. She genuinely cared about the people in her life and how they were doing. Even when she was dealing with the most, she would always ask how I was doing and was eager to talk me through anything I was going through. She checked on me every day when my dad had an emergency brain surgery last year. And I know a lot of it was because she was excited to see the pictures. She got all of them. Sorry, Dad. Lisa had a curiosity that was not matched by many others, and her passion was contagious. We had many conversations about how bodies work, whether it was in the context of working out or the reaction to various injuries. Most recently, we were talking about our brains and how fascinating they are, even if the unknowns turn out to be scary and frustrating. I admire Lisa for her passion and dedication. She worked hard for what she wanted, and she cared deeply for those important to her. I got to see that with Kirsten and especially Roddy. Recently went through all of the pictures and videos she sent me of him jumping into the ball pit or just hanging out in the house or her spraining her ankle playing soccer with him. I joke about only allowing amazing people in my life as friends, but Lisa is the perfect example. I am lucky to have ever called her a friend. I'm glad I had visits to her house that turn into many workouts. I'm glad we were able to laugh at ourselves for only seeing things our way and recognizing that maybe it wasn't 100% right. I will miss the most earnest hugs that always let me know that I was loved. And I will miss my friend. Liz.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Liz Wiggs. I had the pleasure of working with Lisa at Cobb County Fire Department. I also had the distinct honor of being one of Lisa's close friends. I worked along Lisa for a short time in the EMS division. I also watched her thrive in various roles throughout the department during her career. However, I'm most proud to call her a friend who was like family and my forever pickleball partner. I first got to know Lisa when she worked with me in the EMS division. It turned out we had a lot in common, and we were very fast friends. As we were driving together one day at work, we watched a person in a car dump a dog on the side of the road and abandon it. If any of you have ever worked with me, you know how I feel about animals. It turns out Lisa had the same passion for animals that I do. Without saying a word, she pulled over the van, quickly jumping into action, started yelling at me to get out and catch the dog. And we wasted about half of a day of work chasing this dog all over County Services Parkway. Eventually, it dawned on us to call animal control and let the experts take over. However, I learned a lot about Lisa that day. I learned about the kind of person she was. She was dedicated and stubborn when she was on a mission, and she would drop whatever she was doing to help anything or anyone that was in need. Lisa had the biggest heart. She was fascinated and amazed by the world around her. She delicately cared for all living creatures. She loved to plant flowers and vegetables and was always so proud to send me pictures of all the random plants she was growing, even though she knew I didn't care at all about it. She also would stop in the middle of a pickleball game to get a bug off the court without killing it. It was this whole production, much like her bunts in kickball. Yeah. She always would pick up these bugs when I was winning. As I got to know her and watch her caring for the world around her, I was inspired to be more like her. This world needs more people like Lisa. People who slow down to notice the world outside of themselves, and when they see a need, tend to it lovingly. Lisa saw the beauty in this life and made the world a better place through her kindness. If you didn't get to know Lisa very well, you really missed out. Her sense of humor was unmatched. Together, she and I went through some very difficult times where sadness, anger, and frustration were overwhelming. But she would always tell a joke at just the right time to make us both feel better. Her constant silliness and infectious laugh carried us through some really difficult times together. Lisa was also a dedicated wife and mother. Roddy was the light of Lisa's life. To watch Lisa, Kirsten, and Roddy play and laugh together as a family was absolutely magical. She loved her family beyond measure, and it was evident in her daily life with them. Throughout my friendship with Lisa, she taught me so much. I may not have told her enough, but she inspired me daily. She taught me that advocating for yourself is one of the most empowering things a person can do. She stood up for herself and was unashamed to ask for help. We can learn so much from her. As first responders, we're not used to asking for help when we need it, but we have to change this. One of the most courageous things we can do as humans is to be vulnerable, and Lisa was one of the bravest people I know. She was always authentic and willing to be vulnerable. I hope that we as a department can learn from her example and begin to talk about the hard things so that we can support one another when we struggle. Lisa was a fierce and loyal friend. Even if she was going through a hard time, she never hesitated to make sure I was okay. She constantly checked in on me. She was alongside me as I struggled through challenges and was always the first to celebrate my successes. She reminded me to look outside of myself and always take the time to invest in others. She was not a surface friend. She was genuinely invested in her friends' well-being. She taught me that lip service is not enough. We may say we're going to be there for someone, but until our actions say otherwise, our words are meaningless. Lisa meant what she said. Looking back at my time with Lisa, I'm inspired to be more like her. I challenge us all to learn from her example and give our best to the others in our lives. We're great at taking care of the citizens here in Cobb, but we have to be better at taking care of ourselves and each other. We're in a very difficult profession, and we struggle. We must fight hard for one another because at times no one else will. We must do better. We owe it to one another. As we're here today, I hope we can all celebrate who Lisa was as a friend, wife, sister, and mother. She offered so much to this world and had an enormous impact on everyone around her. She touched so many lives in her short time with us. I'll forever be grateful for my time with Lisa, and I will do my best to honor her memory through kindness and friendship. Thank you.
change and tears are past, all safe and blessed we shall meet at
Good afternoon. My name is Dustin Martinez, and I have the privilege of serving as the president of Cobb Professional Firefighters Local 2563. I am here on behalf of Local 2563 and the over 350,000 members of the IFF to present the full line of duty benefits to Kirsten and her family. That will include a scholarship for Roddy when he turns 18. Lisa's name will be placed on our memorial in Colorado Springs and celebrated next fall at the Line of Duty Memorial event. Kirsten, please accept this medal as a small token of appreciation for allowing us to call Lisa a member, to spend time with her, to know her, and take this as a commitment to you and your family. We will always be there, forever and always.
Today, as we gather to honor Fire Inspector Lisa Barringer-Cook, a dedicated member of the fire service family, the men and women of today's fire service are confronted with more dangerous work environments than ever before. We are constantly adapting our strategies and tactics to accomplish our mission of saving lives and protecting property, sometimes at great cost. This is our chosen profession. This is our calling. This is the tradition of a firefighter. Though the fire service of today is ever-changing, it remains steeped in traditions of over 200 years. One such tradition is the sound of a bell. In the past, as firefighters began their tour of duty, it was the bell that signaled the start of their shift. Throughout the day, each night, the alarm would sound and would summon the brave souls to fight fires and place themselves and lives in a jeopardy of safety and protection of their fellow citizens. When the fire was extinguished, the bell had ended, and the bell was signaled for all the completion of that call. When a firefighter died in the line of duty paying the ultimate sacrifice, it was the mournful toll of the bell that solemnly announced a comrade's passing. Today we continued this time-honored tradition as a symbol of respect, honor for those who have given so much and served so well. To symbolize the devotion and dedication Lisa Barringer-Cook had to her duty, we will now sound the signal of 3, 3, 3, a series of 3 sets of 3 bells which represents the end of her duty and her final call home. Lisa Barringer-Cook's task is complete. Her duties are well done. She has answered her last alarm. She is now returning home. May her memory serve as an inspiration to all, reminding us of courage, dedication, selflessness she embodied in her service. Rest in peace, Lisa. You will never be forgotten. And your legacy will live in the hearts of those who have served with you and the community that you protected. On behalf of the entire fire department, I want to express the deepest gratitude for everyone who has joined us today to celebrate the life and legacy of Lisa. Her dedication, service, and friendship will remain in our hearts, and her impact will continue to be felt in the lives she has touched. As we honor her memory today, let us carry forward her spirit of commitment, compassion, and service. I encourage you all to spend time with friends and family, sharing stories and finding comfort in the community that Lisa so cherished. Thank you for being here to show your love and support for Lisa, her family, and all of us who had the privilege to know her. Please feel free to spend time amongst yourselves, commenting and talking about Lisa. There's also flowers that are on the parade engine if you would like to take some of those on your way out as well. But thank you so much.